Hi, everybody. So, if you hear the TV in the background, it's Dancing with the Stars. Sorry. I'm becoming kind of addicted to watching it, but only because half of my preschool kids are watching it, and they come in the morning and go, "Did you see it?" And I'm like, "No." So, I'm doing it for research purposes. That's my excuse. So, I've had a busy day, and I am, officially pre-op. My husband took the day off from work, and we drove to Seattle, and hitting morning traffic, instead of taking it 40 minutes to get from my house down there like GPS said, it took me almost an hour and 10 minutes. We finally made it to the hospital, and I got checked in, and they asked me for the information packet, and I said, "What packet?" And they said, "Oops, I don't think we sent you the packet." And I had all of my papers and stuff with me, so I'm going through my binder. I call it my RNY Bible. It's a notebook I put together, and I'm keeping all of my papers in one spot. I'm a very organized person. Plus, I figured if anything happens or goes wrong, my mom or my husband can grab that notebook, and in the notebook has everything. It has all the information from the doctors. It's going to have recipes in there in case I'm like sick and in bed and they need to figure out what to feed me. It has in the front cover, it has taped all my emergency phone numbers to doctor, surgeon, emergency room. It's got my medical card information in there in case, they need my member ID or anything like that. I'm very organized about it. And actually, the psychiatrist, which I'll get into later, was kind of impressed with my book. But anyway, I'm searching through my RNY Bible, and I'm pulling out stuff that they gave me at the seminar, and it says, "Is this it?" "No, that's not it." "Is this it?" "No, that's not it." "Okay, well then I don't have it." So it's a 15-page document, and I'm supposed to have this done and filled out before my very first appointment, which is like in 5 minutes. Lovely. So I'm writing like the wind. So while I'm sitting there reading and writing, and they take me back into the first room for intake, they call it. They measured my height. They weigh me on the scale. Then I stand on this other scale where you hold the handles as tight as you can, and it gives you your body composition, which is a readout of your BMI, your total body fat, your fat-free mass weight, and your total body water. So it tells you like how much water your body is made of, which I thought was kind of weird. So while I'm trying to write, she's like, "Okay, now I need to measure your arms." So she measured my arms, and she measured my legs, and she measured my hips, and my waist, and my neck. Yeah. Love getting all touchy-feely with somebody I've never met first thing in the morning. That made my day. After that, we moved to an office where they told me to get comfortable. They even joked, "Haha, take your shoes off." And they said the marathon was about to begin because I was supposed to meet with 5 doctors. First came the psychiatrist, who had a 20-page questionnaire in his hands. And he started asking me some questions, and he's taking notes and writing stuff down. And he looked at me, and he goes, "You know what?" And he threw the package of papers on the floor, and he goes, "We don't need this. I'm going to use it as a footrest." I was like, "Okay." And he's kind of Middle Eastern Indian, I guess. So every time he kept saying genetics, he'd say gentics. And I'd have to go, "Wait a minute, what did he just say?" So it was kind of different. He left the room, and in came the dietitian. Sorry, I just shook the table. It's kind of wobbly. Who went over my past diet stuff with me. He said he was basically there to collect data, and I talked with him for almost an hour. Excuse me. Next came the head dietitian and the surgeon, and I talked with them for about 20 minutes. And then they started asking about my support group or support system. And I said, "Well, my husband is here. He's out in the waiting room." And they said, "Oh, go get him, bring him in." So I went and I got Rick. That's my husband. brought him in, and he got to kind of ask some questions and listen to them go over stuff, and it kind of helped, ease him out a little. And we talked probably for about another 45 minutes, and then the surgeon got paged with an emergency, and he had to leave to go over to the recovery wing. So he had to leave, and he apologized for having to step out, and he kind of hung out for a minute, and then his pager went off again, and he's like, okay, I gotta go. So I'm just hoping that whoever he got paged over is okay, because he seemed kind of panicky when he left. After talking to the dietitian for another 10 minutes, the nutritionist / registered nurse practitioner came in, and we went over the new diet that I'm supposed to be on for 3 months for insurance purposes. Then she moved me next door to an exam room. She listened to me breathe. She felt my sinuses, tapped my kidneys, got all touchy-feely with my stomach, asked if I ever had gallstones, if I have problems urinating, blah, blah, blah. Then we went back to the other room, and we went over all the other steps and what tests I'll need. So, next came the insurance biller, and she pops in and tells me my insurance company is very unique, but she looked like she was having a hard time trying to be nice when she said it. I thought, oh great, here it comes. So she stated that when she called them a couple weeks ago, they want her to submit all of my paperwork and all of my testing with the request for surgery. They won't tell her what it is I need, and then they'll get back to her and tell her what exactly the requirements are. So she said we're basically working in the dark, and I'll have to do everything just to be safe. And I said, wait a second. Are you talking about like an explanation of benefits? And she said, well, yeah, kind of. And because I had my notebook with me, I'm like, well, wait a second. I think I have something that you're talking about. And I pulled out the papers that I printed out from my insurance website that has all the requirements on there. And I handed it to her, and I said, do you mean this? And she goes, yeah. And she looked relieved and happy. And she said, could I please photocopy this? I'm like, well, of course you can. So she told me that it just made her day. So I'm very happy that me and my over-organization skills came in handy 3 times. Because I had with me my certificate from the seminar. I had my referral letter from my PCP. I had my blood work. I had my proof from Weight Watchers that I was there for a year, which is another requirement from insurance. My blood work, that's another story. They want you to have your blood work done within the last 6 months. And that expired a week ago. So I now have to go and get all new blood work done. So my diet that they now have me on, I have to have 5 meals a day, which is going to be kind of hard for me to do. They want me to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And each mini meal has to have 200 calories to it. And I have to have daily 100 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and 50 grams of fat. So each meal has to have 20 grams of protein and 10 grams each of carbs and fat. And I'm bad with numbers, so I'm going to have to sit down and do menus and stuff and figure out what's good. My next appointment is October 21st. And that's when I have to have my labs done, my blood labs done, an EKG. I meet with the surgeon again. I check in with the nurse practitioner who is my nutritionist. And I also get to have an upper endoscope, whatever they call it. Where they sneak the thing down your throat. I'm also waiting for the sleep center to get in touch with me because I was told that they would like to have a sleep study done because my history of when I had my appendix out, I I was in the pre-op room and they started to give me the stuff that makes you sleepy, and I kept setting off the pulse ox monitors because I was forgetting to breathe. And they kept having to shake me and go, hey, 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 take a deep breath. So they do want me to get a sleep study done, but I don't need to see a cardiologist for a stress test. And I don't need to have a pulmonary function test done because they already know I've got chronic bronchitis. I do not have a certain amount of weight to lose before surgery, which surprised me. Most people tell me that you have to lose 10% or you have to, shrink your liver and all that. And they said, nope, we just want you to follow the program and you need to try to lose what you can and try not to gain anything. That's the important part, is don't gain anything on this diet. I'm like, okay. After surgery, my goal the surgeon has set for me is to be down between 130 and 140 pounds. And I about freaked out. I cannot imagine hitting that goal, but I've seen other people do it, so I'm sure I can do it too. I was kind of thinking 180 was reasonable, and he pretty much laughed at me, so it made me feel great. Anyway, so I am officially pre-op. I'm going to try to start my diet tomorrow. So after I get off of here, I'm going to sit down and try to work out a menu at least for tomorrow and maybe get me through to the end of the week, because I'm not going to do grocery shopping probably until the weekend. So I've got to kind of do what I can with what do I have here. So yay me! I'm hoping my diet ends December 21st. And I'm hoping that they'll get it all submitted to my insurance company. And I'm hoping, but it won't happen, that my insurance company will at least respond before Christmas. So it would be nice if the answer was yes. But because that's a holiday, I'm not looking for a miracle. So I'm thinking that probably by after the new year, I'll have a yes or a no. And I'll go from there. But I'm hoping, keep your fingers crossed, that I'll be on the list for January surgeries. So anyway, I'm going to close because I'm recording this to my computer, and then I'm going to try to upload it, and I haven't done that, and I don't have a counter down here, and I haven't been paying attention to my time, so I don't know if I'm over. I'm hoping that this works because I'd hate to have to sit here and repeat myself. So I hope you guys have a great Tuesday, and I will probably get on here on the weekend and let you know how I'm doing. I'll talk to you later. Bye.